If you were reading up on the README section, you already know how to install and start running the Create React app. I just need to let you know that they are using the NPX example. However, we're still going to install it globally and then create a new app with Create React app. A lot of things should be familiar because we already covered, let's say, for example, what is the CD. So you should already know that. However, before we start doing anything on our machine, I just want to let you know or show you what kind of cool things the actual Create React app does include. Where, as you can see, that they even have the prefixers, so we don't need to worry about that. Then we're going to be bundling everything. So there's a lot of cool features with Create React app, and there's a reason why we're using it. Now, if you're not reading on it, don't worry, because I got the most important commands right here. So we're going to be first installing globally. So this is going to install the Create React app globally. Then we're going to create a new project, and the project name is really up to you. After that, we're going to have two commands that we're going to be interested. One is going to be setting up the development server, and the second one is going to be building the app for production. To be honest with you, during the course, we will only going to do it a few times because instead we're going to use the actual Netlify, which is a hassle-free hosting service where the only thing we're going to be doing is going to be pushing up to the GitHub, and then the Netlify is going to set up the continuous deployment where the Netlify will going to run the npm build on its end. But anyway, we're going to get there. For now, what we're more interested is get up and running with our Create React app. So like I said, first and foremost, we would like to install this globally. So let me again zoom in massively on my console. So let me make this one bigger. Maybe let me move this guy somewhere there. And then let's say that we would want to install this globally. So npm install, and I have the G flag, and then I'm going to be looking for Create React app. And if you have been following the previous videos, you know that I'm going to be getting the error because I did not add the sudo. So let me head over to the start of my command, and let's just write that I will also would like to write sudo and now install it globally. Once we run the command and the Create React has been installed globally, we can again open up our suggestions and we see the need to run Create React app, and then we're going to be looking for the project name. So in my case, first of all, I would like to navigate to the desktop. So I'm going to say CD desktop. So this should bring us to the desktop. And then let's run the command. We're going to say Create React app. And now let's just say that my folder name is going to be tutorial. Again, this is really up to you. You can name this whatever you'd like. Now, the moment we press enter, first of all, we see that there is going to be the folder, and notice the packages that are being installed. Now, those are some of the packages that are being installed. But remember, when we were just installing just simple Bootstrap or something like that, we're also installing the packages. So right now, everything is happening the same way. Only the difference is that there's way more packages that are going to be installed. I'm going to be heading off right now. I'm going to resume the video once the installation has been completed, because I don't see the point of me talking while the installation is happening. Once the Create React app has bootstrapped our React application, we notice that in the console, we right away got a bunch of suggestions anyway. So this pretty much tells us everything that we had already on a sticky note anyway. So the npm start is going to start up the development server. Then the build is going to bundle up an app. Then we have for testing, then this would be the ejecting. So this is going to make sure that if you would want to do some custom work, you can just run the npm run eject. As well as the last one, they're saying, let's say that this is going to be CD to actual folder, which in our case is going to be tutorial, and running the npm start. Before we move on any further, I do want to let you know that in general, there's going to be two ways how you can work with your setup. Now, first, let me show you the first one, and then I'm going to cancel everything, and we're going to look at the second one. So first of all, we can do everything here in a console. And by the way, if you're using Windows, this is probably the option you would like to use, because as far as I remember, actually working in the Visual Studio Code, integrated terminal might give you a little bit of hassle. So how this is going to work? So first of all, again, we would need to navigate to the folder. So I'm going to grab the folder here. So first of all, I'm going to be in a folder. And the moment I'm in this folder, I have a few options. Well, first of all, I can just open up here my text editor and drag and drop my folder here. So this is going to be my folder. Now, once I'm in the folder without opening the integrated terminal, I can just keep on running my React commands right here. So in this case, since I am sitting into tutorial, I can say npm start, and this is going to set up our development server. Now, how do we know that this is going to be working? And first of all, let me close this. And the moment we're going to kick it into gear, notice that at our local host 3000, we will going to have our dev server running. And by the way, if you are on your local network, you can easily always test it out on your phone by just looking for this URL. And that's just a side note. But anyway, our main point right now is that we already have the successful app running. Now let me set them side by side, which is how we're going to be working throughout our project anyway. And right now at this moment, please don't worry what I'm doing, because I'm just going to make a little change just so you can see that our dev server is working. But you don't have to do anything because we still want to go, or let's say our product, our project folder structure and all that. So let me head over, let's say, to app.js, and I'm just going to make a change just so you can see that everything is happening. So in this case, I'm going to get rid of this edit, and I'm going to say hello world. And the moment we're going to save it, notice I'm going to be getting my hello world. So this is one of the options how you can do that. So you can follow the whole course, you can run it from your console, and everything is going to be working fine. However, I find it much more easier to work it in the integrated terminal. Now, how that is going to work? Well, first of all, we can just clear it, or we can just close the console. So at the moment, this dev server is not there anymore because we actually stopped it. And I can easily test that out by refreshing the browser here. Notice that it's complaining right now. It's saying, well, you're not providing me anything to show. So what is happening? Well, the other option right now would be opening the integrated terminal in the Visual Studio Code. Now, the way you open up the integrated terminal would be with a control until the character which is to the left from the one key. And notice now I'm getting my terminal. So the key here is that we are already working in this folder. So we didn't have to use the console to navigate to our project. We are already in the project, and we can do exactly the same thing where we just run a npm start. You find it obviously much more convenient where I don't have to set a separate console open and just can work in the integrated terminal. However, like I said, as far as I know, if you're working with Windows, it might give you a little bit of hassle working this way with the integrated terminal. So your option might be working straight off the console. Again, this is really up to your situation. If everything is working fine, probably it does make sense working the way we were going to be working with a terminal, with the integrated terminal in the Visual Studio Code. And once we have set up our application, once our dev server is running and everything is looking really well, now we can start looking at the folder structure in the Create React before we dive into creating components and all the other good stuff.